The Tesla Model 3 Performance is the ultimate version of this electric sedan that has been taking the world by storm. It's faster, sharper, and more fun to drive than any other Model 3, and has even been able to outperform some of the best sports cars in the market. But is it worth the money and the reduced range? Let's put it to the test and find out. The first thing you'll notice about the Model 3 Performance is how aggressive it looks. It has 20-inch wheels, a low-profile tire setup, carbon fiber spoilers, red brake calipers, and a lowered suspension. It also has a blacked out grille, door handles, and badges giving it a stealthy appearance. The interior is mostly the same as the regular Model 3 except for the metal pedals, white leather seats, and the performance badge on the dash. The cabin is still minimalist and futuristic with a huge 15-inch touchscreen display that controls everything from music to the driving modes. The only physical buttons are on the steering wheel, which has been redesigned and now lacks the blinker and transmission stalks. What you'll notice next is how fast the performance model is. It has a dual motor all-wheel drive system that produces 450 horsepower and 471 foot-pounds of torque, making it the most powerful Model 3 ever. It can go from 0 to 60 in just 3.1 seconds and has a top speed of 162 miles per hour, although in the game it's limited to 155. On track, the Model 3 Performance is a blast to drive. It accelerates like a rocket, corners like a go-kart, and stops like a supercar. The steering is precise and responsive, the suspension is firm and composed, and the brakes are strong and consistent. The car feels light and agile despite weighing over 4,000 pounds. The only downside is the lack of sound. The Model 3 is almost silent except for the wind and tire noise. They actually add something into the tires to reduce the noise more than a normal car as well on these Teslas. Some people might like the quietness, but I prefer a bit more drama and emotion from a performance car. Now, other than dollars, the cost of that performance is in the vehicle's range. It has a range of 315 miles, which is 43 less than the long-range model. That lack of range is something that's noticeable in-game as well, and you'll end up in the pits more often than your competition. But let's go ahead and bring it over to Tokyo and see how it handles our. The Model 3 is probably best suited for early game use, before having to deal with the limitations of fuel usage. The way mine is set up creates a slight tendency to push while entering corners, but finding the proper speed for entry is difficult anyway due to the lack of shifting through gears. With a 5-speed equipped in a normal car, on the first hairpin I'm dropping to second gear, the backstretch I stay in third or fourth, but none of this means anything with the absence of a transmission. On the plus side, the rear end never seemed to get out of line with the all-wheel drive system, so exiting corners with this car is pretty strong. The car tops out around 156 miles an hour without the aid of a draft, and there's no option to adjust the drivetrain to get any additional speed out of the car. Although this is the lesser Tesla model, the Model S actually tops out at 131 miles an hour, so the 3 is a much better choice for racing in the game. The Model 3 does accelerate quickly though, and you can actually win at the Le Mans 700 race if you have the game setting set to easy, but you'll need to pit on every single lap to recharge the battery. With our settings, we ran out of juice on this lap after 2 laps, and because it's an electric car, there's no adjustment to the fuel maps either to extend the range. The tire wear was pretty minimal, with right around 5% overall, with a slight extra wear going towards the front end, but you're going to be in the pits pretty frequently anyway if tire wear and fuel usage is on. The price point isn't too bad though at $55,000. Fully built, which is mostly reducing weight, brings the car just under 713 performance points and brings the horsepower to 564 horsepower. The weight, even after weight reduction, comes in at 2,791 pounds. We crossed the line at 2 minutes, 5 seconds, .623. That puts it behind the Garage RCR Civic and just in front of the GR Yaris. But keep in mind, this car is going to be in the pits quite a bit, so you're going to end up with a penalty there. The Model 3 is quick, but to me, these electric cars have no personality. A microwave may be faster, but I'd rather have my brisket smoked. For me, this car is destined to be lost in the garage, and I don't really recommend buying it unless you own one yourself already. Thank you so much for watching, and please like and subscribe for future content, and we will catch you in the next one.